Hello and welcome back to the Bliss Bean. So my brother was supposed to help me film this video, but then he rudely decided to have a friend over. I didn't tell him that I would need his help making this video, but I feel like as my brother, he should be available 24/7 to help me with whatever I need help with. So we're just gonna be making do with a tripod today as I take you around my room and give you a tour. Oh yeah, one more thing, I'm gonna add little tags for like where I got the furniture and the decorations that I show in the video, but a warning, literally 98% of my room is from IKEA, so it's not gonna be very interesting. If I forget to mention anything, you can probably just assume it's from IKEA. Okay, now we can get started. That part keeps falling. So this is probably my favorite part of my room, not just because it's where I sleep, but I really like the decorations that I have here. So this bed that I have is actually a sofa bed from, you guessed it, IKEA. I used to have my bed along this window, and so most mornings I would fold it back into a sofa, and then before I went to bed I'd fold it into a bed. Now that I have my bed in this corner where it literally perfectly fits, it just doesn't make sense to ever convert it back into a sofa, so I always keep it as a bed. It has this removable cover thing, and I used to have a hot pink one because my room used to be very pink, but then when I redecorated it a couple of years ago, I realized that when we bought it, we actually got a hot pink one and a black one, so I just changed it up for the black one. These covers are from IKEA. They have like this botanical illustration pattern thing that I really like. I think I'm just gonna hold this in place. So I mentioned that I redecorated my room a couple of years ago, and I actually haven't really done anything to it since then, except doing this. I realized that I had this collage on my wall, and it was the same thing that I'd had for years. Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. So I decided I would take down everything that I had and find all new things to put up. So I found some old pom-poms that I made, some ribbon, flowers, pictures from magazines that I liked. I printed out some quotes, and yeah, it took me maybe like, I don't know, an hour or two to make the new collage, but I feel like it makes such a difference in my room, and it just really like creatively inspires me. Just every time I look over at it, I feel happy. Moving on. So these shelves are looking kind of empty right now, but I got these from IKEA. I've got this little angel that my mom gave to me when I was little. $1 glass vase thing from IKEA. This actually is not from IKEA. This was an old kombucha bottle, so recycling. Seashells, a silver coin, a dead cactus, and then these two things which are not from IKEA, but I'm not sure where they're from. These fairy lights are from IKEA, and I absolutely love them. Before I go to bed, I like to turn off the main lights in my room and just keep the fairy lights on because it creates this nice soft glow. And then on here, I just hang my headphones to make sure that they're always in the same spot. Over by the window area, I have these little rocks that I don't actually remember where I got them, but I just like having them at my windowsill. This is one of those little toys that like bobbles up and down on solar power. I accidentally destroyed it. I knocked the flower head off, but I just like really like the calming up and down motion, so I still keep it here. And then I have this Christmas room spray because even though it's April, if your room can smell like Christmas year-round, why not? Finally, these curtains are from IKEA. I do have these pink window blinds up there, so these curtains don't really actually serve any function except to look pretty. I don't really like showing this part of my room because it's probably the least aesthetic, but basically I had this cabinet type thing that I took apart to make my new desk, and I was left with this weird like 3 square shelf thing, and I haven't really known what to do with it since then. I mean, I guess it's like a window seat, but I have no use for a window seat. So really the only thing I use it for is to store some school things like textbooks and old notes. I guess you could call this part of my room like a sitting nook, except I never actually sit here. It's really just for decorative purposes. This is a wicker chair that I got from IKEA, and it actually makes like these super annoying creaking noises, so realistically I don't know why I bought this, but I got this fake sheepskin for it, and then this is a pillow that came with my bed, but it looks better here, so. Back here is my laundry hamper, and for $1 million, can you guess where it's from? IKEA! And then I have these random poster things that I tore out of magazines. Yeah, that's it for that part. This is kind of the miscellaneous side of my room. So this TV I probably have not turned on in years. I used to play Wii games on this, but I just don't really do that anymore. And then this is one of those classic IKEA KALLAX shelving units. If I were to change my room, I probably would get some different kinds of shelves for this. I feel like it feels too big and blocky, and also this like fake wood finish is just it feels very fake. It feels very plasticky, but it's okay. I make do with it. So this holds a a lot of different odds and ends. Each square is like a different category. I don't really like how open it is and that you can see everything, so for a long time I've wanted to like either put individual little curtains or just have like a curtain rod going across here and have one big one that opens like that, but that's like a someday project, so I don't know if I'm ever gonna get around to it, honestly. But so basically square one is for books and albums. We have a lot of books in storage in our basement, but these are ones that I refer to more often or that I'm currently reading. This is for some random manila envelopes and for this little box of like techie type things that I have, like chargers and stuff. And here I have contact solution and contacts cases and all the contacts related things you could ever want. These two squares are hygiene things, so like hair ties and makeup and jewelry. This is a basket of yarn. I used to knit, but I don't anymore, so now they just sit in this cute little basket. Here I've got a few more books and then some magazine holders that hold like files and documents and official important things like that. And then in this one I have some games. Again, we keep most of our games in the basement, but these are the ones that I play most often. Apparently not that often because it's very dusty, and unfortunately all of these are like 17 plus, so I hope that doesn't say bad things about me. But honestly though, Cards Against Humanity is like the party game. On top I have some candles that I like to light before going to bed. Okay, and then the last thing in this section of the room is the wall art that I have here. But actually, first things first, I have this metal grid that I bought back when like those wire grid collage things were trendy. So I don't know if you ever saw, but on Pinterest people would have like, instead of bulletin boards, it would just be these wire grids and people would use clips to put little pretty things on there. I intended to hang it up, but I just never got around to it, so it just sits against my wall. But honestly, it's probably way too heavy to ever hang. I think I got like a retail grid that's meant to hang clothes on and stuff. Probably not at all the purposes that I was intending it for. But yeah, so basically it just has no purpose right now. This is a full-length mirror that I got from IKEA because I would always have to like run to my parents' room to use their full-length mirror, but getting this was life-changing, and it only cost like $13 to $15 if I remember correctly. IKEA is life, man. Okay, so then actually moving on to the wall art, let me move this mirror. This is a poster that I got at the Chicago Cultural Center from an exhibition about how the average color of the universe is actually beige. This is just like an illustration of the moon that I printed out. This is a painting that I actually did. It's not very good, but I did it, so I'm pretty proud of it. I went to this painting event thing. It wasn't even a class. They just gave you canvas and paints and you did whatever you wanted. So I, being the Pinterest teen that I am, painted a fiddle leaf fig on a pink background. That is a collage that my amazingly talented friend Caitlin made for me. It's like part collage, part drawing, and it's based on this photo of me. And she made it for my birthday, and you need to follow her because she is beyond talented. This is a finger painting that I did, actually super proud of that one. And then this is a picture of Chicago that I had printed into sticker form. And of course we can't forget my BTS poster. Okay, moving on. This is my closet. So basically the way that it's organized is I have all of my tops, sweaters, dresses, and things like that hanging on clothes hangers on this side, the side that you can't see, and they're all color-coded, of course. And then on this side I have bottoms, pajamas, shirts that are too ugly to wear out in public, things like that. Some bandanas, even though I'm not really a person who wears bandanas. My one and only belt that I own. And then up on top I have boxes that store a variety of things. So like for example, this box is full of random art supplies. So whenever I'm working on an art project, I just pull this entire thing out and then I have everything. This is where I keep any cards or letters that I receive. And then I've got other boxes for like old journals, awards, recycled gift bags, things like that. And then we finally made it to what is probably the most important part of my room and where I spend more of my life than I would care to admit, my desk. So what you see here is my DIY standing desk, which is basically a wooden board on top of a box. If you want a tutorial for how to make this, just take a wooden board and put it on top of a box. It works pretty okay, it's pretty sturdy. The only complaint that I would have about it is that it's just a little bit too tall for me. So when I'm working at it with my computer, I usually take one book and just stand on that to raise myself a little bit. And then if I'm working on anything like studying where I have to bend over to do it, then I stack about 3 books. And you might be asking, why don't you just find a smaller box? And the answer is I like to make things difficult for myself. I have 2 desk lamps. This one is my old one, and then this is a new one. I actually don't use the old one at all anymore because this one works so much better. The light's just much more diffused and less harsh, and I actually usually point it at the wall when it's on so that it's even softer. The only reason I'm still keeping that lamp is because I really like the copper color of it. I change up what's on my wall and my bulletin board pretty frequently, but right now what I have is my word for the year, a collage that I made of words of the year that people sent in to me on Instagram. This is like an affirmation for the year. I am confident, I am motivated, and I am powerful. Some quotes, a random pretty picture, the first Polaroid picture that I ever took of my brother, and then just some more quotes and reminders. This is my social media calendar that I use to plan out when I'm gonna do blog posts, but more importantly, what Instagram posts I'm planning on doing. My boogie board for writing down quick things. So one thing I use it for is when I'm editing videos. Like for example, if I'm editing a video and I come up with an idea for how to do the titles, but I'm still just working on cutting up the footage and I'm not on that step yet, then I just write it down there and then I don't forget that idea. And I also don't waste paper. And then this is my beautiful AP study schedule for 2019, which I've fallen about 2 days behind on, but that's not the point of this video. On my desk, I have a fake plant because I kill all living plants. Just some cut up Post-its and flashcards that I use for things. I keep my washi tape in this bucket thing, Tombow brush pens, random ugly pencils and pens and whiteout and things like that. This clock that is clearly set to the wrong time, but it adds a touch of pink. And then this is the pen that I use for my graphics tablet. I somewhat recently got this drawer unit from IKEA and I absolutely love it. This top drawer appears to just be completely random things. This drawer is for all of my notebooks. This one is for markers and colored pencils and things. This one is for office supplies like paper clips and staples. Not sure what this category would be called, and I don't know what this is either, so. I'm not sure if from this video you could get a sense of my personal style because I don't think I know what it is either, but I guess what I can say I like is I like little decoration-y things like having art on my walls, but it's also very important to me to keep my room pretty clutter-free. So even though I do have things like this, most of my walls are just empty and white, and I really like it that way because I feel like it fosters creativity but also gives me lots of room to think. Basically, my room is my happy place, so that's why it's important for me to keep it clean and nice looking, and I'm pretty happy with what I've been able to achieve here. I have done a couple of like big clean outs of my room where I just get rid of tons of stuff, but now as I've been making this video, I see that it's probably time for another one because I have quite a few things that I just don't know why I have them. I think maybe once the school year is over, I'll just take a day to try and purge as much stuff as I can and figure out what sparks joy. So yeah, that's it for my room tour. I hope you enjoyed this little peek into my life. It's honestly kind of scary to post this because this is like where I spend most of my time and I'm just giving you this very detailed look into it. But hopefully it was enjoyable, and if it was, please give the video a like and subscribe to my channel. And that's it. I will see you next week. Bye!